Girl, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I can make it. I think I'm gonna die.
Oh, there's 556 pages in this book. Can we just not and say we did? Is that illegal?
Fucking Annegirls time again. Here we are.
Like, we didn't even make it through the section that we assigned to ourselves.
No.
We hit a wall because, like, I'm gonna say this as respectfully as I can, considering the way that I feel. This didn't have to be a book.
No.
We were done. Like, last year's dead. Like, just wrap her up. Wrap it up.
This was like our original plan. We were trying to go in 100-page increments, even more than our 5-chapter ones from last time. We made 3 chapters this time. And that was on me because I went as far as I could before I started like stroking out from rage. Okay.
But it's not just you though, because if it hadn't been you, it would have been me. Like I really tried, and we had 2 weeks. Like we had 2 weeks, and to be fair, I was not touching this last week because I was gearing up to go on vacation on a cruise to the Bahamas with my man. So I was not gonna do this. I wasn't gonna do it. But then I tried picking it up this week, and I was just like wow, like holy shit, this is real bad. And I'm not even gonna make the argument that it's like good writing this time, because he is rambling like nonsense and terribleness. That's not a word, but it's so unnecessary. I can't breathe.
Yeah, especially the chapter that it would have been 7 with Marklin and
old fart
Stuart. Yeah, like
didn't Marklin say he was 87, or was he talking about Stuart?
He's talking about Stuart, Marklin, and the other Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy Marklin. Stupid fucking name when this guy's just gonna come out and call him Mark anyway. Just name him Mark. Sorry.
No, it's just like they were so boring. Like they sat there and fought for so many pages over like this what they were going to resolve anyway, and there was no new information presented in all of that argument. Like all we're getting is that there's another Taltos. That's all we're getting.
Okay, yeah. To summarize that bullshit, it's literally these weird dudes who are like Talamasca adjacent. They're not even in the Talamasca, which we're all like, "Ooh, this doesn't seem like the Talamasca," because it's not.
No, yeah.
But like, how I mean, I'm sure it's gonna get answered later, but I'm just like, how? Like, what? Where did they come from? How are they able to get so? They knew Aaron. Okay, so they're. I mean.
Stuart's part of the Talamasca. That's what it is. Stuart is, and these are his little like it's that work for him.
His science boy toys. Yeah. They worship him, and I'm just like, he's just a crotchety old man.
We have this with the It's funny because like as much as she's like on little girls, she's also on old men. And we see that in the Vampire Chronicles as well because of David.
I love me some David.
I love David too, but like she's like very much like up the old man's urethra and then like up the ass of the young woman, like the baby.
But like I fully accept the old guy worship because they're of age. So like, and like we love some old guys. Like we really do. Father Karen's
Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi? Like, that's fine. That's totally fine if you want to love yourself an old man. The other things are not fine. So what we get from here is that these two, Mark and Tommy, just went off. And honestly, this was the most, as boring as it was, this was the most acceptable piece of what we read. Everything else is garbage. And so they went off the rails. Stuart just said, keep Aaron and Yuri out of it. And they said, okay, we'll kill them. And apparently he was not very specific, but in my ADHD brain, you're going to have to be specific, my boy.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to help me out here. So he's mad at them, but they're like, convince him that don't be mad at us. And then Tessa apparently is the lady Taltos that he keeps sequestered somewhere, doing who knows what with her. I don't want to know. No, I'm ill. I'm unwell. I think I'm unwell every episode.
Yeah. You're 100% correct though when you were right. Like this is the palatable thread in this book.
Yeah.
The other one is not. This is boring though. The way, and it's not because of the plot or the storyline. It's the way I feel like she tries to fatten this section up with
Yes.
all of this
Yes.
unnecessary. Like even if you are talking about people that have a circular logic, you don't have to write the scene that way. You can just be in one of their heads and be like, this is like the third time I've gone around with this old bitch about this, but he wouldn't say that. This lovely old man whose dick I want to suck about this. You know what I mean?
No, literally though, and like they say and think the dumbest shit just to like stretch it out, and I'm like, no self-respecting old man or whoever is thinking this right now. And she tries to make everything like lovely, and it just is so creepy. It's not lovely, Anne. It's
isn't.
not. It's. Please give me 2 pages. That's fine. 2 pages.
Yeah.
He was waiting for Tommy for so long and reminiscing about Oxford, and it doesn't matter because you'll have to explain like their stuff later. Like you will. So like this is a waste to do it here.
Yeah.
Just let me know something shady is afoot. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. But the beginning of this chunk is Ash being a weirdo. Okay. He is traveling to Donalith, and he's also lustfully daydreaming about Mona and Yuri.
In so many ways, they are trying to make this a fucked up little kid polycule. Whether it is Ash and Yuri and Mona, or it's Mona and Michael and Rowan, it's always involving this 13-year-old child.
Huh? Yeah, there's a whole lot of it, and it's really icky to me that Rowan was in this self-imposed like waking coma, okay? Just kind of choosing not to speak to anyone. Okay, and then she comes out of it and is immediately feeding off of Mona's like desire to be seen, her desire to grow up. Mona doesn't have any parents. She doesn't have any parents. She doesn't have anybody to turn to. And Rowan is using her. And it's gross. And she's telling her, it's so intentional. She's so manipulative. You are a woman, Mona Mayfair. Like you are. You're only, and the only reason she's doing this is because she can't have babies anymore. And she really fucked up the last time that she was supposed to have a baby. Okay. This is all her fault. It's all Rowan's fault. And Michael wants a baby so bad. And he also was miraculously cured by a young teenage body. And she's like, you're that for him.
Okay, but I'm gonna have like yes. I'm gonna argue though, a 12-year-old, which is what Mona was at the time,
Yeah,
is not even a teenage body. That's a preteen. That's a child.
yes. It's barely like at 13, you're barely hitting the teenager mark.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I kept wanting to like age her up, and I kept thinking 15. But they remind you she is 13. Even at 15, it's not right, but she's 13.
At 12, 13, I wanted to date the oldest Hanson boy. Okay. I was not mentally sound. All right. I was clipping pictures out of like little kid magazines and putting them on my wall and dreaming about boys. That was the extent of it. The boys that talked to me in class, I was scared of those motherfuckers. I ran the fuck away. Okay. That is not, this is not in any respect how a child works at all.
No, no. I had my first kiss when I was 13, freshly 13, and it was heavily peer pressured and it was so wet and gross. I didn't kiss another boy until I was 18 years old. Here's the thing, you know, people who like this book, people who like this series, they could argue that Anne Rice is really good at writing villains. Like she wants to write a villain, but it doesn't really seem like that's what she's doing. It's just everybody's a villain and she's worshiping them.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes her characters worship the villains also. Yeah, like it doesn't seem like she's like, let me write dynamic characters. No, they're all bad.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's my problem with all of this is it's like, yeah, I understand that this is something that probably exists in the world and that there are people that doing things that I think are heinous. Correct.
Yeah.
However, we don't call them the archangel. We
No.
don't act like they are like the guiding light for anything that is remotely good. The way that she tries to paint this family, the way that she paints this family though, and like the things that she tries to paint as positive are just
give me indigestion.
Like, just as a woman completely lose your identity and individuality to be a broodmare. Not for me, bro.
No, and like she knows that they're bad people. There are moments like when Rowan's sitting in the kitchen, okay, being sexy for a 13-year-old that she knows looks up to her, right? And she's telling her, look, I know all about what you did. I've been listening to your thoughts while everyone thought I was in a coma, and like it's fine. You're pregnant. Michael wants his baby. And I'm gonna go off and be a hero, and you're gonna stay here and have sex with my husband and take care of this baby. And Mona has like this very grown-up moment of clarity, like, you're using me as a pawn. Like, who do you think I am? Like, let's say he does want to have sex with me. Like, what do you think I am? And Rowan's just like, she didn't say you're so pretty. She said something like, man, I wish you could take you with me. But it's the equivalent of you're so pretty. Like, oh God, you're so like to disarm her.
Mm-hmm. It's so bad. And she's like, she is salty about the fact that this kid fucked her husband.
And she can't have babies anymore.
Yeah. And I'm just like, instead of like being salty at all at the child, be salty at the man.
Which she's not. And you know what's crazy about that? What's so horrible? I mean, all of it's horrible, but Mona constantly in this book is guilty about it. Michael's not guilty. He doesn't wallow in guilt. He's like, yeah, hit that. And I got to keep my wife. Like,
and see, that's where I say, Julian, we saw real fucking internal turmoil within Julian's viewpoint. You never see it in Michael's. No. Ever. Doesn't matter.
No, he's just la-la-lying through this. And it's just a lot to me. Okay. Some more terrible Rowan comments and like Rowan and Mona dynamic thing, because there was so much of it and it's awful. She says, don't tell Michael about the baby until like you've confirmed with the regular tests. You have someone you can confide in, right? Like a mother. You know she doesn't have a mom. You know her mom's dead. You know everybody's got their uterus exploded. You know she looks to you as a parent, and you're making her stay in this house with y'all. You know that. Don't be a bitch. And then she comes around and says, oh, don't worry about that. I have my secret gynecologist. I'm 13. What? And then at the end of this whole thing, this whole conversation, before Rowan ultimately decides she is actually gonna bring Michael, I don't know if she's gonna ditch him somewhere, but like she's like, all right, you can come, which like blows me. she says she calls Mona a Jezebel twice, and that shit really pisses me off. And she says, "Don't forget, Jezebel, he's still my husband, okay? You may have the emerald and the baby, both of which come with very grown-up responsibilities that Rowan no longer has to deal with, but Michael's mine. Michael's not a prize."
In
And
so
also,
many ways, Michael's not a prize. In every way, Michael is not a prize.
I want to pinch her. I'm like, what do you think you are? The gall, the gumption, the indigestion.
That last chapter that we did, like chapter 8, I was so mad when I got done with it. That's when I texted you and I'm like, this is as far as I'm getting. I am not going any further.
Like, I didn't feel like that was necessary either.
Yeah, and she puts that little sex scene in at the end between Michael and Rowan too.
Well, at least we didn't have to suffer through it.
On the plane again. On the plane again. Like, you're ruining that Ed Guy song, Lavatory Love Machine. That's a funny song. But now I'm gonna think about Michael and Rowan.
She just squeezes these shits in the most random places, and I'm like, this is no longer a porno. You can't do that. You've exploded one too many uteruses, man.
The uterus has done been exploded. Now we need this serious lore and story that should have been supporting it the whole fucking time. Like, we had the family lore in the first book. That was that was actually, like, in retrospect, I know we were suffering when we were going through it, but I kind of miss that. I kind of miss that at this point.
It was like, very scandalous.
Yeah.
Getting through.
And again, real human turmoil. That's the thing about it, is like, when you have a character that is unaffected by the wrong that they're doing, that's not an interesting voice. That ceases to be an interesting viewpoint, because you're talking about somebody that just doesn't, like, they're not thinking. They don't have, and we knew Michael wasn't going to think. Vivaldi and Dickens, motherfucker. Like, we knew we weren't going to be getting anything bright out of him from the beginning. Like, I'm just so tired at this point. I don't know, like,
we have so many pages left.
We do. We're at 144 in my book. I have the big hardcover because I said
168.
And there are 467 in my copy.
Look at that.
That means that we still have like 300 plus pages. Girl, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I can make it. I think I'm gonna die.
Oh, there's 556 pages in this book. Can we just not and say we did? Is that illegal?
I mean, we made that freaking, I found the clip where we made that agreement.
Yeah, but that was right.
Wait till we get to the erotica. That is what I think is going to destroy us emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Like, we're just going to be a husks of human afterwards.
We're going to be that marijuana girl from the commercials, the melted one. Drugs. Don't read Ledger. Don't read Mayfair. Don't do
it. Don't read it.
Oh, Brooklyn's coming in to check on me because I'm okay, Mama. My dog's worried, you guys. I'm okay, Mama. It's okay. We have to do this. This is how much is left. Oh, you can't see it. It's too many pages.
It's too many.
It's literally, there's 400 more pages.
We will try. You know what? We can do it. We can do anything for a short period of time.
Yeah, no, it's not a good time. I love having a good time, and this is just a bad time. There are no words.
In retrospect, Dave the Demon was a fucking great time. Like, I miss Dave the Tentacle Monster Demon.
And you know what I just noticed? I didn't just notice, but what I remembered. This is the swamp house. Little swamp cow girl, Mayfair.
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
And it's the second one they lost to the swamp, because they lost the original. There's the one that has the funny French name, and then there's Riverbend. And I think so they lost 2 plantation houses to the swamp.
But does she come back in this book?
I think so. I do think so.
I'm so sick of Mayfair bullshit.
Yeah, I thought that there was less Mayfair bullshit in this one. And Mary Jane, that I had to flip ahead. Yeah.
Oh, happy 420.
Oh yeah. We should be fucking stoned right now. That would be
literally, but I'm straight edge now. I don't smoke or drink. I can't drink with my antidepressant. So I'm just raw dogging life right now, but I'm meditating.
Oh no. This is not the time to be raw dogging life.
No, dude. It's not. No. Oh, and thank God I have these little things. I rip them off after I take my notes, but literally every time I'm pissed, I just take a sticky and stick it in the book and keep going. So I'm like, I'm coming back for you. I'll come back for you.
I take a picture of it, so
it sends it to me, and I'm just like, ooh. Every time I get a picture, I'm just like, oh, what am I approaching in this book? Oh, we didn't talk about the freaking cave. The cave, like, was apparently full of angry little men, and Ash was having a conniption in there. Like, he's not familiar with their little torches and drums. Like, you've been there before. You go to Donald all the time. What do you mean? He's just a weird dude. There's this, I forget what it's called, but there's this movie of John Cena out right now. So he plays this character, like he's like an actor, and he's really ridiculous. And like Zac Efron's in it, and they every time they do something wrong, they blame it on this fourth person, like their friend, and it doesn't exist. But they have this binder filled with like details of this guy's life, and like they have their like wives and partners and stuff believing that this is a guy. So one of them's having a baby, and they're like, oh, invite your friend. And so they have to hire John Cena to be this guy. Well, that's all I could think about when these I'm just gonna call them old guys, because in my mind they're all old, not just Stuart. When these old guys are talking and they convince Stuart, oh, this invisible fourth person is actually who killed Aaron and Yuri, because they don't know that you're still alive. And I'm just like, are you guys kidding me? No one takes accountability in this universe. Nobody does.
Hopefully next episode we'll get a good, I don't know, maybe I'll just like be in a different mood. I'm just like,
no, we won't. We're not. It's just gonna go downhill from here. It's gonna get worse. We're not gonna feel good about it. There's nothing good coming. I can feel it in my jellies.
So here the deal is, like, this time, like, I'm PMSing. I'm not in the mood for this shit. Okay. Like, maybe next time I can actually bite off a bigger chunk. I'm not going to be less mad, but I might be able to bite off a bigger chunk.
And I'm medicated, and I'm having a best. I'm not being a pessimist. I'm being a realist.
I'm gonna try to read a chapter a day and just like stick to that and see if I can do a little bit more on some days. My problem is like I have Kindle Unlimited, and like I can just read books that I don't want to like kill myself over, you know?
Yeah. I can't currently read anything with this thing looming over me.
Which is why I want to get through it, but I'm also just like, it's so difficult, and I'm so good at procrastinating, dude. I will get on here and I will just be like, well, I'm going to read, like, maybe I'm going to read some smut, and then I'm going to read like a 30-page smut, and then I'm going to read 3 or 4 chapters out of the book that I'm reading, and then I have somewhere, oh, yep, I'm reading this Kelly Armstrong book too, and so I'm just going to like pop in between. I have a physics book I'm reading. I have to. I can't take this.
I really can't. And realistically, a book this size, I could crush that. If I like it, I could just crush it.
Yeah.
Okay. 48 hours. I'm gonna eat it alive. This book, I can't. I can't do it. I can't. We can't be alone here. We can't be alone.
Thank you for listening to the Annegirls Podcast. You can find us on the internet at annegirls.ghostinthemagazine.site.